And then I bring those marks down the edge of the board and use a wheel marking gauge to divide the board into thirds to determine the notch depth. Easy enough. Now I just have to decide which tool to use to cut these out. The router could work, so can the table saw. Router, table saw. Doctor, pharmacist. I'll go with the table saw, but I'll need to make a new jig, obviously. I want to use a flat top grind blade to ensure I have the cleanest cut right off the saw. But my flat tooth blade is full kerf, and I use a thin kerf blade for my regular crosscut sled. And I don't want to mess with the zero clearance on that sled, so a new sled is required. When I made my crosscut sled, I cut some extra runners after dialing in the correct width for occasions just like this. Making this sled took maybe 5 minutes because all I had to do was attach the runners to the base, cut halfway through, and use my little 30-60 triangle to set the fence at the correct angle against the blade. I used double-sided tape when placing that fence down so I could flip it over without anything moving, and I could attach it more firmly with countersunk screws from the underside, and it's ready to be used. I used the mortise as a guide for how high to raise the blade, and this is so painful for me to watch. You may or may not notice this, but I'm lining up the piece on the wrong side of the pencil line here. The notch is supposed to start from that line, not before that line. So frustrating. Oh my goodness, I can't believe I just did that. This was supposed to be the easy part. I feel like I always mess up on the simplest parts, probably because I put my guard down and I think it's going to be easy. Anyway, all I had to do here, besides for cut on the correct side of my line, was take multiple passes to create an angled notch.